Welcome back to another lesson on pronouncing the alphabet X correctly. Now, a lot of English learners have a very similar problem and a very common problem of using or pronouncing the words with X correctly. In fact, amongst pretty much all the alphabets in the English language, pronouncing X becomes a bit of a challenge. I'll tell you why. Because there are several ways of pronouncing this one alphabet. But I'm going to make it very simple for you. I'm going to show you different ways of how to say this word, say this alphabet, depending on which word you're going to use it with. So stay tuned and pay attention to when you are going to use the alphabet X in what ways while pronouncing it. Now, the most common way of pronouncing X is with the Giz sound. Okay, so it's a X, Giz, Giz sound. Okay, not exactly a cuss sound, but it's a Giz sound. But there are 4 things you need to remember in order to draw out the Giz sound when you are using the alphabet X. So there are 4 conditions to use the Giz sound. You can use either of these conditions in order to get this sound in a word. The first condition is that the X will be followed by a consonant sound. Okay? So the X will be followed by a consonant sound. So all other sounds apart from A, E, I, O, U are consonant sounds. Let's have a look at the word next. The X is followed by the T, which is a consonant and a consonant sound. So you will say next. The X would have a X, next, because the X is followed by the consonant sound. Okay? The second thing you need to remember in order to have the X giving you the Giz sound is when X is used at the end of a word. So let's look at a word like relax. The X is at the end of the word, and therefore the X gives me the Giz sound. Okay, let's do this once again. The first thing you have to remember is that the X, for it to give you a Giz sound, should be followed by the consonant sound. In this case, we have an example, next, because the T is a consonant. The second condition is that the X has to be at the end of the word to give you the Giz sound, like the relax. Okay? The third condition, or the third way that you can draw out the Giz sound when using the word or the alphabet X, is when you have X followed by the vowel sound. However, in this case, the syllable after X is not the stronger one. So the syllable after X is the weaker one. Okay, so for example, we have taxi. The X is followed by the vowel sound because I or the E sound is a vowel sound. However, you are using the Giz sound because the syllable after the X is the weaker one. So before the X you have ta, which is a stronger syllable, but after the X you have a E, which is a smaller syllable. So you use the X to be a Giz sound when the X is followed by a vowel sound. However, the syllable after that X has to be the weaker one, like taxi, the Giz sound. And The fourth condition, which I haven't mentioned on the board, is when you are using a prefix. So for example, you have words like ex-wife or ex-employee. A prefix always is followed by a hyphen. So when you use prefixes like my ex-boyfriend or your ex-wife or I'm an ex-employee, that's when you will again use the X with the kiss sound. Okay, so I hope you've got this part clear and very simple to understand for you. But now, because I said that X can be used in several ways, the X has another sound it does make in some words, which is the Giz sound. So this was the kiss sound and this is the Giz sound. Okay, let's see how and which words are those which give you the Giz sound. Again, there are two conditions. The first condition is that the X to give you the Giz sound has to be followed by a vowel sound with no underlying conditions. Okay, so X followed by the vowel sound will give you the Giz sound in a word. So you have a executive. You don't say an executive, you say an executive. A lot of English learners say executive, which is wrong. It's executive. Okay, so we have the X followed by the vowel sound, which is the sound. So therefore you say executive. Okay, so executive. So the other instance when X will give you the Giz sound is when you have X followed by a stronger syllable. For example, you have the word X in this word, the alphabet X in this word, which is followed by the stronger syllable. That's why you will say example, the Giz sound, example, because ample is the stronger syllable, the syllable which is stressed, as opposed to before the X, which is the weaker one. So when you have the X which is followed by the stronger syllable, or if you have the X which is followed by a vowel sound, that's when you will always get the Giz sound. So you have words like executive and example. Okay, that's how you will use the Giz sound in an X. But what about another way of using the same alphabet? Well, this is very common. In fact, it's not very common because these words are not used so much, but the X can also give you a Z sound. But the only condition for it to give you a Z sound is if the X is used as the first word. So whenever X is the first word is the first alphabet in your word, that's when you get the Z sound. So you have a word like Xerox. X is at the beginning of the word, so it has a Z sound. It won't have a kiss or a Giz sound because it's in the beginning. So it's got a Xerox. A word like this, which is a name of a person really, it's a Xavier, the Z sound. You can't have a kiss or a Giz sound because the X is coming as the first alphabet in this word. Okay, and now an X also creates two other special sounds. I call it special because there are very, very few words in the English language which make this sound. Okay, it is the kish and the gj. Okay, the kish and the gj. But these sounds come in an X only if the X is followed with a U. So words like sexual, the kish, it's not a sexual, it's not a sexual or a sexual, it's a sex, the kish sound, because the X in this word is followed by a U. So it gives you a special sound which says sexual, the kush sound. Also, if the X, in some cases, is followed by the U, can also give you the Giz sound. For example, the word luxury. It's not a luxury, it's not the kush sound, it's the Giz sound, the luxury. Okay, so these are the different ways that you will pronounce the letter X. I'm sure if you keep practicing and if you really ponder over the different ways you can say the word X, your pronunciation is going to be really good. So I'll be back with some more lessons. Until then, this is me saying keep practicing.